The Brickyard 400. There's one thing that NASCAR is going to be remembered for, partially for the 2024 season. It's going to be for some very controversial finishes that have happened. And the Brickyard did not fail to deliver its own.
3, 2, 1.
Now, I do want to say this before I start this out here. This episode is not a anti-Hendrick or anti-Kyle Larson episode in any way, shape, or form, because I'm going to say this much. Even if a caution had come out on that final restart to rack them back up after the Ryan Preece spin, I'm 99% sure Kyle Larson was going to get that win either way, and a well-deserved win for him, so it's nothing to take away from that 5 team or anything that he's accomplished this year anywhere along the lines. My issue right here is with the disappointment in NASCAR with the officiating that's taking place right now, with situations that cause people to have conspiracy theories and people to think that other drivers are getting special treatment, and examples of some things that happen that kind of give people reasons to think some certain things like this. What I'm going to do here today, though, is I want to show you 2 examples. There's a lot, believe me, there is a lot out there of examples you can look at to see of how some officiating changes depending on the race and the situation that's going on, and for a lot of people with who it involves in the situation. So I want to start out with this right here. And this was just a few short weeks ago at Iowa. And if you take a look at this right here, the 10 car of Noah Gragson getting sideways right here, a little bump up going on, but never coming in contact with the wall. Nothing coming off of the race car onto the racetrack that would impede other drivers or cause other situations that could arise. And yet, there was a caution, a very unwarranted caution, because the car was still moving. And in my eyes, and many others, no need for a caution. Now, you also got to take into the aspect, this wasn't a caution that was a race determining caution either. This was a a caution that was in the middle of the race that happened right there on the racetrack for you to see. Now I want to take a look at this one other situation right here. And this goes back to 2022 with the All-Star race. Ryan Blaney leading this race, coming to the checkered flag. And there's a special situation with the All-Star race that it finishes under green. That's the way it's designed. That's the way it's going to happen. But with this race right here, Ryan Blaney was coming to the checkered flag just as the caution comes out. He actually takes the checkered flag, and then the caution flag waves. The team themselves thought the race was over. It was a done deal. The race was complete. But yet, the caution light come out just as Ryan Blaney was coming to the checkered flag. And for what reason? Let's take a look at this right here. Let's take a look at Ricky Stenhouse getting loose and up against the wall right here. That caused this caution to happen. And if you take this into consideration, they're coming across the checkered flag. They're not going to be racing back to where that car was at, even if it was sitting still in the racetrack. But yet NASCAR threw a caution. Thankfully, Ryan Blaney was still able to win the race, but could have been a lot different. Could have been a whole different situation with that. And now let's take a look at the Brickyard here. This final restart, Ryan Preece gets loose, goes down, taps that inside wall. And yes, he is off the racing surface at this point right here. But yet we just saw a caution that come out for a car just getting sideways on the racetrack that never stopped, never had any impact on the race as far as other race cars that could collide with them. But yet there's a caution there, but there's not a caution here. And once again, this is a crown jewel race. This is a caution that's going to determine the winner of this race. But yet no caution come out when they still had a full lap and a half to go. But yet, when Ryan Blaney was out there coming across for the checkered flag, there was a caution. Now, my biggest issue with this right here is that this car actually got back up on the racing surface. And it was in where the racing groove would be, because if you take a look at this right here, you can see the cars down at the bottom of the racetrack racing each other right where this car would be situated at. So if the car got back onto the racetrack and dropped any debris, it could be a major catastrophe for anybody that ran through it and caused more incidents that would follow through. But yet this car finally does come to a stop on the racetrack and sit there for 8 seconds with still no caution coming out. The car, from the time it wrecked to the caution come out, was over 30 seconds. A long time. When you take a look at a 1.5-mile racetrack, that's a whole lap around that racetrack. You take a look at places like Bristol or Martinsville, which, yes, these are not the same tracks, but yet that's 2 full laps around there. That's 30 seconds to throw a caution, but no caution was thrown. And when you take into consideration that, again, this is a crown jewel. This is a big race. In my opinion, NASCAR should have thrown that caution out there. Now, I know a lot of people are saying, well, you look at Nashville. You go back and look at the situations that happened there. That's correct. We all knew what happened with that. We all have seen different green-white checkers that have caused more wrecks. But that's a fact of racing. And NASCAR does not have a set time limit right now of how many restarts that they will do. So until they do, you kind of have to do the same process week in and week out, no matter who's in the lead. And I don't care who would have been in the lead this weekend. I think it needed a caution. I think it deserved a caution to rack them back up and go out there and race. Now, a lot of other people have said, yeah, the fuel mileage. People could have ran out of gas. Things could have happened with that. That's part of the strategy of racing. When you go out there and put your strategy together, you kind of put it together for green-white checkers and what's going to happen at the end of the race. And we've seen the 71 car, we've seen the 11 car, we've seen the 6 car have to pull off the racetrack for fuel. That was part of the strategy that happened. It's part of the way that it played out. So using fuel mileage as a reason that couldn't throw a caution is a bad example. It's a bad example all the way across the board for anybody who says that. And also for NASCAR, if that's any of their thinking behind this. And I just wanted to see that race finish out. Not to be controversial in a situation like this, especially at Indy, where Kyle Larson was doing a double. A lot of people said he got privileges with getting a waiver for this. It caused a lot of conflict already. And there's no doubt NASCAR wanted to see Kyle Larson in victory lane, no matter what. I mean, winning the race, which he was going to do, more than likely. But it still caused controversy right now with this. It's made a lot of headlines, caused a lot of talk. And that's the things I don't like to see. I would rather see this be racing until the checkered flag falls for the right reasons, especially when you have 30 seconds to throw a caution and let them finish the way they should have. But anyways, this is just my opinions on this. And as always, man, I'm curious. How do you really feel about this? And again, this is nothing to attack Kyle Larson or Hendrick Motorsports because, man, they're a class act. And I give them credit for everything that they do. And I congratulate Kyle Larson for getting this win to Indy. I think it's great what he's doing. He is, if not the best, one of the best race car drivers to ever live. And I certainly believe that. So, but anyways, hope everybody out there is having a great day. And as always, we'll see you at the checkered flag.